The ancient Romans had a phrase, memento mori. Remember you will die. They whispered it in the morning darkness, not from morbidity, but from wisdom, because knowing your days are numbered makes each sunrise an act of rebellion against insignificance. You woke up today, millions didn't. Yet somewhere between your first breath and your first worry, you forgot you're living a statistical miracle. Your heart completed another 70,000 beats while you slept, asking nothing in return. Your lungs processed 8,000 liters of air, and you didn't supervise a single breath. Your body fought off invasions, repaired damage, and manufactured dreams complex enough to baffle neuroscientists, all while you lay unconscious, trusting the process. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire that stretched across 3 continents, yet every morning he reminded himself he was just a collection of atoms that would soon disperse. This wasn't depression, this was liberation. When you truly grasp your temporary nature, every morning becomes electric with possibility. Every sunrise becomes a stage where you perform your brief but brilliant role in the cosmic theater. The Stoics understood something we've forgotten in our age of snooze buttons and social media scrolling. They knew that morning isn't just a time, it's a battlefield where your entire day is won or lost. Those first thoughts, those first words you speak to yourself in the mirror of dawn, they don't just influence your day, they architect your destiny. Neural pathways strengthen with repetition. Morning thoughts become afternoon realities. Repeated mornings become your autobiography. What separates the defeated from the indomitable isn't talent, luck, or circumstances. It's the conversation they have with themselves before the world starts talking. While others wake up negotiating with weakness, bargaining with procrastination, surrendering to the tyranny of their inbox, the Stoic practitioner arms themselves with declarations that would make the gods themselves take notice. These 5 morning declarations I'm about to share aren't motivational candy that dissolves at first contact with reality. These are psychological weapons forged in the furnaces of ancient wisdom and tempered by modern neuroscience. They're the same principles that helped Stockdale survive 7 years in a Vietnamese prison, that helped Frankl find meaning in Auschwitz, that helped millions of quiet warriors face impossible days with impossible strength. If you're ready to stop being ambushed by your mornings, if you're sick of your potential dying in the darkness before dawn, then lock in. Like this video now as your first victory of the day. Subscribe and hit that notification bell because transformation requires repetition. Share this with someone drowning in their mornings. And whatever you do, don't skip ahead. Each principle builds a fortress that life cannot breach. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My morning mind creates my daily reality. Now let's begin. Number 1. Today's obstacles are my secret advantages. Every obstacle contains its own destruction, if you know where to strike. The Stoics called this amor fati, not just accepting fate, but falling in love with it, seducing it, making it work for you. When you wake up and declare, today's obstacles are my secret advantages, you're not playing mental gymnastics. You're recognizing a pattern that runs through every success story ever told. Alexander the Great faced the Gordian knot, a puzzle that defeated every warrior before him. While others tried to untangle it, he drew his sword and sliced through it. The obstacle became his legend. Thomas Edison's laboratory burned down, destroying years of work. While others would weep, he said, "All our mistakes are burned up. Now we can start fresh." The fire became his freedom. Your morning mind wants to catalogue threats, to build walls against potential pain. It whispers about the presentation that could go wrong, The conversation that might explode, the rejection that lurks in every opportunity. But warriors think differently. They see the presentation disaster as a chance to prove their improvisation skills. The difficult conversation becomes an opportunity to finally clear the air. The rejection becomes data, intelligence, a map showing where to strike next. When you tell yourself this truth each morning, you're rewiring your amygdala's threat detection system. You're teaching your brain to see problems as puzzles, barriers as building materials, setbacks as setups. That person who irritates you becomes your patience trainer. That financial pressure becomes your creativity catalyst. That health challenge becomes your discipline developer. The universe isn't conspiring against you. It's conspiring to forge you. Every obstacle is a cosmic personal trainer, demanding you become stronger than you were yesterday. But only if you show up to the gym of adversity with the right mindset. Only if you greet your obstacles like sparring partners instead of executioners. Watch what happens when you start your day with this declaration. Problems stop surprising you. Challenges stop paralyzing you. You develop what the Stoics called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Not to become pessimistic, but to become unshakable. When you've already mentally transformed every possible obstacle into an advantage, what can the day throw at you that you haven't already conquered in your mind? Number 2, I am the author of today's story. Seneca wrote his own narrative while bleeding out in a Roman bath, ordered to suicide by Nero. As life drained from his veins, he dictated philosophy to his scribes. Even death couldn't steal his authorship. If a dying man can write his story, what excuse do you have this morning? When you declare, "I am the author of today's story," you're committing an act of creative violence against victimhood. You're not denying that other forces write chapters in your life. Illness writes its passages, loss inscribes its paragraphs, betrayal adds its dark verses. But you hold the pen that decides what those chapters mean. You control the narrative arc. You decide if this is a tragedy or a transformation tale. Most people wake up as characters in someone else's script. They perform roles written by their parents' expectations, their partner's moods, their boss's demands, society's scoreboard. They read from teleprompters held by fear, insecurity, and comparison. They've forgotten they can flip the script, burn the stage directions, and write something magnificent in the margins of impossibility. Your brain contains 86 billion neurons, more connections than stars in the galaxy. You possess the most sophisticated story-generating machine in the known universe, yet you let it run on autopilot, regurgitating yesterday's plot, recycling last year's narrative. Every morning, you have the power to write science fiction with your life, to do things that shouldn't be possible given your circumstances, your history, your limitations. The author's power isn't in controlling every plot twist. It's in controlling the meaning. When bankruptcy strikes, is it a finale or a first act? When love leaves, is it an ending or an interlude? When diagnosis drops its bomb, is it a death sentence or a development arc? You can't always choose what happens, but you always choose what it represents in your story. Writers know something civilians don't. Every great story needs conflict. Every hero needs obstacles. Every transformation needs tension. So when your morning mind starts cataloging all the conflicts awaiting you, remember, these aren't problems. They're plot devices. They're not destroying your story. They're making it worth telling. Nobody remembers stories about people who had easy lives. We remember those who wrote masterpieces with broken pencils on borrowed paper in the dark. Start this morning by picking up your invisible pen. Feel its weight. heavier than mountains, lighter than air. Write the first line of today's chapter with intention, not reaction. Make it bold, make it count. Make it something that would make your future self lean forward in anticipation. Because whether you acknowledge it or not, you're writing your biography one morning at a time. The only question is, will it be worth reading? Number 3. My discomfort is my growth announcing itself. The Spartans had a saying, either with your shield or on it. They understood that comfort is a slow poison that kills warriors from the inside. When you wake up declaring, my discomfort is my growth announcing itself, you join an ancient lineage of humans who chose evolution over ease. Cato, the younger, walked barefoot through Rome's streets in winter, slept on hard ground when beds were available, fasted when feasts beckoned. Not from masochism, but from wisdom. He knew that voluntary hardship in times of peace creates involuntary strength in times of war. He was preparing for battles that hadn't been declared yet, strengthening for storms still forming beyond the horizon. Your morning mind is a comfort-seeking missile, programmed by evolution to conserve energy, avoid threats, seek pleasure. It wants warm beds, easy tasks, familiar routines. But that same programming that kept your ancestors alive in caves is now keeping you dead in cubicles. Your survival instincts have become success inhibitors. Your safety mechanisms have become prison bars. Discomfort is intelligence disguised as pain. That anxiety before the difficult conversation. That your courage muscle demanding exercise. That fear before the big presentation. That your confidence wanting to grow stronger. That resistance before the workout, the cold shower, the hard decision. That your weakness begging you not to kill it. Every discomfort is a doorway. Walk through it and you evolve. Avoid it and you atrophy. Scientists call it hormesis, the phenomenon where controlled stress makes organisms stronger. Trees that face wind develop deeper roots. Muscles that face resistance develop greater strength. Humans that face discomfort develop unbreakable character, but only if they recognize discomfort as a teacher, not a terrorist. When you start your morning with this declaration, something profound shifts. The cold floor under your feet becomes a strength ritual. The difficult email becomes a courage ceremony. The challenging workout becomes a transformation temple. You stop seeing discomfort as something to escape and start seeing it as something to embrace. Not because you enjoy suffering, but because you enjoy becoming. The universe speaks to us in the language of discomfort. It whispers through uncertainty, shouts through fear, screams through pain. But it's always saying the same thing: grow or die, evolve or dissolve, become or succumb. Every morning, discomfort knocks on your door with an invitation to greatness. Most people pretend they're not home. Warriors answer before the second knock. Your comfort zone isn't a rest area, it's a death zone. Nothing grows there, nothing transforms there. Nothing magnificent happens there. So, when discomfort visits you this morning, and it will, greet it like an old friend, bringing gifts. Because on the other side of every discomfort is a version of you that you haven't met yet. A version that your current self would admire. A version that your past self wouldn't recognize. Number 4. I am exactly where I need to be. Marcus Aurelius commanded the most powerful army on earth while his son plotted against him, plague ravaged his empire, and his wife allegedly poisoned him slowly. Yet he wrote, "Confine yourself to the present," not because his present was pleasant, but because he understood that rejecting your current coordinates is rejecting your power to navigate from them. When you declare, "I am exactly where I need to be," you're not practicing delusional contentment. You're acknowledging a brutal truth. This moment, however imperfect, is your only launching pad. You can't jump from where you wish you were. You can't build from an imaginary foundation. You can't navigate from a fictional position. You can only move from here, and here, no matter how dark, difficult, or disappointing, is perfect because it's real. Every morning, millions wake up in exile from their own lives. They're physically in their beds, but mentally in their past, replaying decisions that led them here, rewriting history with phantom edits. Or they're lost in futures that don't exist, building anxiety castles in tomorrow's clouds. They're everywhere, except the only place where power exists. Now, here, this. The universe has a terrifying precision. Every atom in your body is exactly where physics demands it to be. Every circumstance in your life is the mathematical result of infinite calculations you'll never comprehend. Fighting this placement is like arguing with gravity. You're not here by mistake. You're here by math. Complex, cruel, perfect math. Your morning mind wants to litigate reality, to argue with what is, to present evidence for why you should be further along, more successful, less damaged. But warriors don't waste energy fighting reality. They use reality as raw material. They take their exact coordinates, however far from their destination, and plot the most magnificent route forward. When Alexander found himself in the middle of a desert with his army dying of thirst, he didn't wish he was somewhere else. When offered a helmet of water, he poured it into the sand, showing his men he was exactly where he needed to be, with them, in their suffering, in their struggle. That moment in the desert became more powerful than any palace victory. His acceptance of where he was transformed, where he was into legend. Right now, you're reading this for a reason. This morning found you for a purpose. Your current struggles aren't random punishments. They're precise preparations. Your present position isn't a mistake. It's a starting line. Every champion was once exactly where you are, unsure, imperfect, but present. The only difference? They stopped arguing with their coordinates and started navigating from them. Stop requiring your morning to be different before you can be powerful. Stop needing your circumstances to improve before you can begin. You are a warrior, standing exactly where the universe needs you to stand. Now move. Number 5. Today, I practice dying well to live fully. Socrates drank hemlock like it was morning tea, turning his execution into his final teaching. His last words weren't pleas or regrets, but instructions about a debt he owed. He died as he lived, completely present, absolutely unafraid. Every morning, when you declare, "Today, I practice dying well to live fully," you're not being morbid. You're being militantly alive. The Stoics practiced meditatio mortis, meditation on death, not from darkness but from brilliance. They knew that remembering death is the only way to remember life. Every morning that doesn't acknowledge ending is a morning that can't fully begin. Every day that ignores its finite nature is a day that gets wasted on infinite postponements. Your mortality isn't a distant threat. It's a present teacher. Your cells are dying and being reborn right now, millions of them, while you read this. You're experiencing death constantly, microscopically, magnificently. The you who started this video isn't the you who'll finish it. Parts of you have already died during this sentence. This isn't tragedy. This is transformation. When you practice dying well each morning, you're rehearsing the ultimate release. You're training yourself to let go of grudges that don't matter anxieties that don't serve, possessions that don't fulfill. You're practicing the art of beautiful endings so you can master the art of beautiful beginnings. Every morning is a death to yesterday. Every night is a funeral for who you were. Tomorrow you'll be reborn, but only if today you're brave enough to die. Most people wake up assuming thousands more mornings, treating today like a rough draft they'll perfect later. They postpone courage for convenient times, delay love for perfect moments, defer dreams for ideal conditions. They live like they're immortal while dying like they never lived. They accumulate days like coins, not realizing the currency expires. But when you start your morning acknowledging this could be your last, everything changes. The coffee tastes different when you know it might be final. The sunrise looks different when you realize you're not guaranteed another. Your loved ones sound different when you remember voices go silent. Suddenly, perfection seems less important than presence. Success seems less urgent than significance. The Romans kept skulls on their desks. Samurai meditated in graveyards. Buddhists contemplate corpses, not because they loved death, but because they understood that death is life's greatest consultant. It tells you what matters by showing you what doesn't. It reveals priorities by revealing impermanence. It teaches urgency by teaching endings. This morning, look in the mirror and see tomorrow's ghost. Recognize the temporary miracle staring back. Then live this day like someone who understands the assignment: to burn brightly, love fiercely, and leave magnificently. Because practicing dying well isn't about preparing for death. It's about preventing the tragedy of arriving at death having never truly lived. Drop this affirmation in the comments: I live like I'm dying because I am. These 5 morning declarations aren't just words, they're weapons against a life of quiet desperation. The Stoics understood that philosophy without practice is just intellectual entertainment. Tomorrow morning, when consciousness first flickers, you have a choice: drift into another day or declare war on mediocrity. Start with just one declaration. Feel it reshape your neural pathways. Watch it transform obstacles into opportunities, comfort into complacency, mortality into urgency. Then add another. Build your morning fortress one truth at a time until you become unbreakable before breakfast. Remember, Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire with these principles. Epictetus found freedom in slavery through them. Seneca faced death with dignity because of them. These aren't just ancient ideas. They're eternal technologies for human flourishing. Your mornings are calling you to greatness. Answer the call. Hit like if this resonated. Subscribe and ring that bell. Your transformation requires daily reinforcement. Share this with someone whose mornings need revolution. Comment below with your chosen declaration. Tomorrow morning you wake up as a warrior or a worrier. Choose wisely.